Let's go with Disney Star Wars succession problem. Who will replace Kathleen Kennedy? We were having this conversation yesterday. And then magically after, because we do the show from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern, okay? This was written at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, okay? So I don't know. Maybe through the grapevine they were all right, but who's going to take over, right? Is it Favreau? Is it Filoni? Is it Feige? Who's it going to be, right? Let's read this. Let's have a conversation, okay? So if you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We appreciate you for coming out and hanging out with us. All right, so Disney Star Wars succession problem. Who will replace Kathleen Kennedy if she leaves? Okay. Would it be Favreau? Will it be Filoni? Will it be Feige? Either way, we're effed. Huh? Thank you. Here's what the insiders are saying about who will and should become Disney's new Star Wars emperor. Okay. There is no credible alternative. Okay, so when Dave Filoni acclaimed Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated series launched back in 2008, and the premiere episode's opening crawl proclaimed, "Great leaders inspire greatness in others." But who should Disney choose to inspire greatness in the next generation of Star Wars creatives now that longtime Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy is retiring later this year? Question mark. Right? She still hasn't said it out of her own mouth, so these are just insiders, so take it with a grain of salt, because she hasn't actually said she's retiring. The job hunt will be like nothing before in Lucasfilm history. Star Wars creator George Lucas handpicked Kathleen Kennedy. Boy, was that a mistake, huh? I still think, I had a video about this. I purposely think that Lucas picked her because he knew that she was the worst person to put there. And because they didn't want to use his shit, okay, and because they were buying a little behind, he was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you this person to put it in front. So we'll see. The company, before selling his ownership and stake in Disney, which elected to keep her in place, now for the first time, Disney will pick somebody new to lead its galaxy far, far away. During the 10-year, Kennedy guided Star Wars brand across many celebrated achievements. Did it? What achievements? Such as the franchise return to theaters. Okay. Anybody could have done that. With The Force Awakens, a successful shift to TV with Mandalorian. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, they did make $2 billion. But again, that's because Lucas built up what Star Wars was. And she destroyed it. And if you watched my video from yesterday, okay, my yesterday's video, I talked about that her legacy will not be known for being successful with Star Wars. Her legacy will be about destroying Star Wars. Okay? You were the chosen one. Right? She was the chosen one. And she destroyed it. Okay? Included some lackluster movies and such. Overseeing numerous announced discard projects, the executive, along with Disney in general, has also often had been targeted by franchise fandom, for diverse cast moves and perceived woke agenda perception that Disney boss Iger has been eager to move past. But while Kennedy's pending retirement might be drawing cheers from the fans online, insiders say that the replacement, the seasoned executive, will be rather difficult. Some of the industry, from the studio's managers, representatives, believe that the company's senior leadership has done a poor job in training and evaluating the next generation of Padawans executives, from which in the potential tapped a replacement. Okay? Quote, "One reason Kathleen stuck around so long is because no one is a credible alternative," said one person, who has as many interactions with Lucasfilm leadership, sources say. Lucasfilm, Ray Roberts, who has also been with the company for 12 years, has also been groomed. That's a poor choice of word. Groomed by Kennedy as likely replacement. But just last week, Roberts has announced that Searchlight's new senior VP of production, which is not a very good sign, huh? When you're trying to make your replacement, when you're trying to get a replacement for your position, and the person that's supposed to replace you moves over to a completely different section, not good. Okay. Then there's details of the job itself. Kennedy was a movie producer who ended up not only seeing new Star Wars films, but the Indiana Jones movies, which she also destroyed, a wide range of live action and animated series. It's a role that it's also less creative in nature, but more blandly managerial of outsiders realize. Okay, it says, quote, "What people don't understand is not that the creative job," says the producer with the Star Wars, "that's about 10%. The rest of it's dealing with Disney's licensing and fans. That said, there's also some potential candidates to replace Kennedy whose names have been floated in the past, who also have been mentioned in the Industry Observer as having some of the top needs of one of the hottest and hardest, most scrutinized jobs in Hollywood. Okay, so first up is Jon Favreau, okay, which his name is my favorable one, but does he want it? I don't know. Let's read. Okay. Favreau is responsible for launching the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2008's Iron Man, successfully launching Star Wars into the TV hyperdrive with 2019's Mandalorian, and directing the first new Star Wars film since 2019, which is the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, with Mando, Favreau has demonstrated the understanding of the universe while also seeming to intuitively know what casual fans want. He also served as an executive producer on several other Star Wars shows, but as noted, Kennedy's job is less about being creative than being a manager. He won't want to be executive, predicts one observer. That's true, right? Like, he could be in charge. Now, here's the thing. Could he be like George Lucas, where George Lucas had that position, but also was the creative, where when she took over, she doesn't have a creative bone in her body, so she made it more about managerial stuff instead of being creative, okay? She was never creative. She just paid for stuff. She got people together she got creatives together, okay, to make the stuff. But she's not creative herself, okay? Hence why she said there's no stories to be told in Star Wars, okay? Favreau is like a Lucas. I would say more talented than Lucas. Lucas wasn't a very good director, okay? Good storyteller, but not the best, okay? Like, he would be a 7 out of 10 storyteller. IGN would give him a 7 out of 10, okay? But that's his baby. He knows Star Wars. Now, it's going to be really hard for someone to come in to know as much as Lucas, because his brain that came up with all the stuff. But it would be really not difficult to just keep what Lucas wanted, okay? And as if he came to be the president or the runner of Lucasfilm and took ownership of it, I would run it, if I was him, like Lucas ran it, not like Kathleen Kennedy ran it, okay? Second up is Dave Filoni. Okay, mentored by Lucas himself, Filoni is beloved by the franchise fandom, who sees a passionate writer-director as one of their own who would gradually manage to become a major player in Star Wars' dream factory. Filoni has also come a long way since the launching of the Clone Wars, working closely with Favreau on The Mandalorian, shepherding other animated shows and showrunning for the first live-action scripted series in 2023, Ahsoka. But Ahsoka had a mixed reception, and Filoni is seen as by some of the industry as being too far from a manager or corporate boss type, which isn't an insult. He's a great resource of knowledge, and he's ultimately a TV guy, says one source. He'll be killed by all sides, and yet one sources tell that the THR that Filoni is already Disney's choice to succeed Kennedy, and predicts that it'll be announced as Star Wars Celebration in April. This has not been confirmed by others, however. So here's the thing. I liked Filoni for what he did for the Clone Wars. I don't like what he's doing for live action. Some people have an act for storytelling in the animated section, but doesn't translate to live action type of stuff, okay? I do like that he was under George Lucas. And because he was mentored by George Lucas, he's the closest thing to Lucas as far as the knowledge of someone that's at the actual place, at that high up, that knows about the stuff that's going on. But at the same time, he's his own person and doesn't want to kind of go with the flow of what Lucas had in mind. He'd rather do his own things, which is fundamentally fine, okay? But at the same time, is that the way you want to go when going to the next era of Star Wars? Not connecting it to what Lucas had and connecting it going through, or do you go with your own and kind of just shit on the stuff in the past, which they're doing right now, right? Right now, Filoni was involved in all the stuff that happened, okay? Kathleen Kennedy was involved with all this stuff because they were already working with the company. Favreau came in to work on certain bits and pieces, okay? So, I don't know. We'll see, okay? It says Favreau or Filoni plus. A quote Jedi Master Yoda, when there's only no perfect choice, two choices make it okay. Yoda never actually said this, but he's still solid advice. One possibility for replacing Kennedy is to pair Favreau and Filoni with highly experienced studio managerial type who doesn't necessarily know Coruscant from Corellia, as such as a 20th Century Fox studio head Steve Asbell or Lucasfilm president GM. Okay, this would also like the Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn was teamed up with former manager producer Robert Safran. Okay, it runs DC Studios. One person makes the creative decisions, and the other handles the less glamorous corporate matters. Disney also opted into for a pair of Favreau and Filoni together, offload some of the positions' more mundane duties of their executives. Here's the thing, though. They're both creatives. Is one a managerial type of person? I don't know. You got two creatives. Do you bring a third person in? Do you do a trifecta? Do you bring in, as it says down below, Kevin Feige? Do you bring in Favreau and Filoni to do the creative part, but you do Feige as the head? Because Feige actually fits that position better for what Kathleen Kennedy's doing. But creative-wise, I wouldn't really bet on Feige, okay? So Feige, many insiders believe that the best candidate for the job is Marvel Studios topper Feige, who also shown to be uncanny ability to balance corporate needs to understanding the core IP. He's a major Star Wars fan. He's also even slated to produce a Star Wars movie until the project, like so many others under Kennedy's tenure, was scrapped. But in some ways, Feige's moment of opportunity has passed. The ideal time for Feige was to seize the Star Wars Empire's throne was after the mic drop. That was also 2 back-to-back blockbuster Avenger movies, 2018 and 2019. Okay, back then, or back when Marvel was also at the zeitgeist, basically, since Marvel was also suffered partly because of Feige has been stretched out too thin, overly ambitious content demands, and Disney Plus. Those reverberations are also still being felt, as seen as the mixed reception of Captain America: Brave New World. Feige is also focused on recalibration of Marvel, which also means relaunching Fantastic Four this summer. It's also focusing on new Avengers movies, which also will shoots this year. And he's also the only one that makes sense if he needs to focus on Marvel, says one Disney insider. Here's a different conversation then. If he moves over to Star Wars, then who's taking over Marvel? Or is Marvel done? Right? I don't know. Right? He does make sense about taking Kathleen Kennedy's as a, as the head of the monster here, okay, where he's telling people what to do. But as far as the creative stuff, we read an article yesterday talking about he needs to get off the mound, right? J.J. Abrams. Oh, God, no. God, no. You do not bring in J.J. Abrams, please. Please. No. No. Okay?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
No. No. Okay? Directly wildly successful Star Wars relaunch of The Force Awakens, but also lambasted entirely for The Rise of Skywalker. He clearly has an affinity for the brand, and Bad Robot managed a small media empire, but the Bad Robot have hit a rough and unproductive patch. The filmmaker is only now getting ready to shoot his first movie since Skywalker. Okay? But that also could be because the bastard stun from the Star Wars experience was provided harrowing. He says, I don't see him coming back from a toxic cesspool, says one insider. He's definitely left a mark on him. Yeah, I don't want him here. Don't bring him. Emma Watts. Watts is respected exclusive, who also was a longtime president of productions of 20th Century Fox, who, amongst other projects, who notched a franchise experience by steering widely range quality. X-Men movies, including launching the Deadpool, James Cameron's Avatar, was also made under the tenure. She also had a brief stint of president of Paramount Motion Pictures Group, also was sitting in the sidelines since the studio leadership change in 2021. She's been waiting for a comeback. Perhaps, maybe Emma Watts could do it. Okay. Hannah Minghella. Speaking of Bad Robot, Abrams' former employee, his name is the surfaced as a possible contender for Tuesday. Executive is also former memorable experience across the live-action animation sphere, as well as family fare. She's also had a long stint of Sony Pictures, and those are titles she worked on and ranged from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Hotel Transylvania, Jumanji, and Goosebumps. She also has been running Netflix feature animation and live-action family divisions since last summer, so would have a excellent herself from the multi-year deal. Well, these are definitely all interesting. So out of these contenders, guys, chat, comments down below, okay? People watching the video, who do you think? Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Favreau together, Kevin Feige, J.J. Abrams, Emma Watts, or Hannah, right? Who do you think would be best? My thing is I would go with the two-headed dragon or maybe three-headed dragon, okay? Or just the solo of Favreau. I've lost hope in Filoni, personally. I don't like Filoni. I like Filoni, what he brought. But the more I watched what Filoni is doing after the fact, I don't have confidence in Filoni, right? I would be Padme, where I vote for no confidence, okay, in the Senate. I have no confidence in Filoni. I have confidence in Favreau. Favreau, to me, is the best choice. Now, if he wants to actually do it or not is another story, but I think he's the best choice creatively. I think he could be the Lucas, what Lucas was before Lucas left, right? Where Lucas ran the company and also was creative, okay? I think Favreau could still dabble in it and be like, you know what? I think I'm going to direct this one. And he's much better director than Lucas has ever been, okay? So I think he could run the studio and then also go, you know what? I'm going to take reins on this one. I'm going to do this movie. He doesn't have to do them all, okay? But I think he's the best choice for Star Wars, or for Lucasfilms, I should say. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.